protest families. Is that acceptable?
No.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. An artist who on Instagram goes by the name Shireen Creates memorializes George Floyd, killed by a police officer named Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. This adds to the number of black martyrs she has drawn. Almost immediately after the killing, people came out in righteous protest. As far as I can tell, the violence after the killing of George Floyd began with the police as they shot tear gas, pepper spray, and rubber bullets against people peacefully protesting. Compare that to what happened in Michigan a week or two ago, when the police and state troopers did nothing at all as white anti-quarantine protesters prowled the halls of the state capitol armed with automatic weapons. Minnesota Attorney General Ellison suspects that at least some of the violence is created by provocateurs. That word means people sent in by authorities to encourage violence in order to discredit a movement. Be careful of people paid to send you in the wrong direction. The Payday Report has an article that says some bus drivers in Minneapolis were refusing to drive buses which the police were commandeering to take people to jail. Good for them. I believe this march took place in Los Angeles.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! Say his name! 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 George Floyd!
As we record, word has come that Officer Derek Chauvin has been arrested for third-degree murder. The authorities can move fast when the people are after them. I call your attention to this tweet by Trump on May 29th. He wrote, "I spoke with Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way and we will assume control. When the looting starts, the shooting starts." He was answered by Massachusetts Representative Seth Moulton, a retired Marine Corps infantry officer, who said, as a Marine veteran who was trained to disobey unlawful orders, I'm also calling on the men and women of the Minnesota National Guard to ignore the president's unlawful order to shoot civilians and rely instead on your training and your oath to defend the Constitution. That's a fine answer to Trump's threat to shoot people. But what about those chilling words that Trump tweeted just before? He said he had spoken to the governor and told him that, quote, "the military is with him all the way and we will assume control." Is he threatening a coup? Someone should tell him that the U.S. military is barred by the Posse Comitatus law from interfering in civilian affairs. I have to hand it to Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. He immediately condemned the killing of Floyd and connected it up with race. He said, being black in America should not be a death sentence. 4 police involved in the incident were fired, and Mayor Frey called for the arrest of Derek Chauvin. Now compare that to what happened in Connecticut. On January 15th, Mubarak Soulemane was in a car surrounded by Connecticut State Police and West Haven Police. He was shot 7 times and died. It's been over 4 months, and neither Governor Lamont nor Mayor Rossi of West Haven has said a word of criticism of any of the officers involved in the incident. On Saturday, June 6th at 3 p.m., there'll be a press conference and car caravan starting at New Haven City Hall to protest Soulemane's killing and to demand action on the part of the authorities. Learn more about it at peace.org. We've interviewed Barbara Fair on the show several times before. She is rightfully angry that Connecticut Governor Lamont won't free any prisoners during the virus pandemic and is shipping prisoners who are infected up to northern Connecticut's Supermax facility. This week she confronted Lamont when he spoke at a press conference on the New Haven Green.
We are testing all the people at our correctional facilities.
So people are still dying, and you could have released some of those people, but you decided you didn't want to do that. Now, what I'd like to know is why are those lives disposable that you don't even have a plan to release them?
I think the safest thing we can do
Please
is only
stop the
release
spin
them.
that you usually put for the media, and please tell the truth. Are you indifferent to the lives of incarcerated people, and that's why you're allowing them to die?
I think just the opposite, ma'am. We're doing everything we
I
can.
have to go by your actions, not by the words that you spend for the media.
Safe, and that's
I go by
doing.
what your actions and not what you spend for the media. We have begged you. We have written you. We tested. We have done everything to ask you, please come up with a plan. People are dying. These people have families. They're hurting. And you sit in your house and you don't even care that these people are dying. You don't have a plan. Only people getting out of prison are the people who are going to get out anyway. So please stop the spin for the media and be honest. You don't care about incarcerated people. That's why they're dying. That's why we have another person dead today. That's why there's 8 people dead, and you don't even acknowledge the 26-year-old who died 2 days after court order release. That would have been the 8th person who died in prison, and we still don't have a plan. Now, you can spin what you want for the media, but that's the reality that people need to know. Incarcerated people are disposable lives in this state.
All right. Any other questions?
Strange and bad things are happening to the weather up north this last week in May. In Siberia, temperatures were 40 degrees above normal. In North America, 2 days ago on the 27th, it hit 98 in Montreal. And in Vermont, on top of Mount Mansfield, it was 84 degrees. It was the highest temperature there ever recorded. And summer is 3 weeks away. Join the Climate Car Caravan Friday, June 5th at 3 p.m. as it circles Bushnell Park in Hartford so it can cross in front of the Deep office on Elm Street, which is in charge of giving out the permits for the planned Killingly fracked gas plant. That plan is projected to put out 2 million tons of greenhouse gases into the air each year. Put the pressure on Governor Lamont. Put on a little heat now to keep the heat off later. Now from a rally up in Hartford, Connecticut, to press Governor Lamont to create a special fund to help essential workers who are getting no help at all from the federal government. The rally starts with a tribute to George Floyd.
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
Digan su nombre!
George Floyd!
Digan su nombre!
George Floyd!
Digan su nombre!
George Floyd!
Buenas tardes, mi gente, ¿cómo estamos? governor can hear us, so let's try again. How are we doing? Are we ready to fight? Yeah! When immigrants are under attack, what do? El pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido.
Jamás será vencido.
Me llamo Kika Matos. My name is Kika Matos. I live in New Haven, vivo en New Haven, y trabajo para el Instituto de Justicia de Vera. I work at the Vera Institute of Justice. Thank you, everybody, for coming here this afternoon. Let me do a little bit of framing before we turn it over to our speakers. It's been 2 months now since this pandemic hit us hard. And what have immigrant workers done? They have continued to be on the front lines. Ya hemos estado en la pandemia por 2 meses. Y mientras tanto, muchos trabajadores que son inmigrantes han seguido trabajando. What are they doing? They are taking care of our sick and our elderly. They're taking care of our kids. They are cleaning our hospitals. They're working in our factories. They are picking up fruits and vegetables. Some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them have gotten sick. Some of them have died. And what has the federal government done? Cero. ¿El gobierno federal ha hecho qué para los inmigrantes? When these relief checks came, they came to everybody except the undocumented and mixed status families. Is that acceptable?
No.
Are we going to accept that?
No.
Y mientras tanto, el gobernador de Connecticut ha hecho qué?
Nada.
And in the meantime, our governor has done what?
Nothing.
Is that acceptable?
No.
Are we going to fight until the state of Connecticut supports and protects our immigrants?
Yes.
Vamos a seguir luchando hasta que el gobernador proteja a nuestros inmigrantes.
Sí.
So today our demand to Governor Lamont is clear. Lo que le estamos exigiendo al gobernador de Connecticut es muy claro y muy breve. Queremos que establezca un fondo para personas que son inmigrantes indocumentados en el estado de Connecticut. Our demand of the governor is very clear. Establish an economic relief fund to protect and support our undocumented workers. Who's with me? Who's with me? And we are not going to give up until this happens. Who's with me? We have an amazing lineup of speakers, and our first speaker, hay muchos oradores impresionantes con nosotros hoy, and I'd like to call on my sister, Queen Warrior, State Representative from the 94th District covering Hampden and New Haven. Let's give it up for Representative Robin Porter.
Yeah.
¡Sí se puede!
Sí se puede. Sí se puede.
We can, and yes, we will. We are here today to petition our governor, her too, but Governor Lamont, to respond to all the requests and demands that have not only been made by the people here today, but by lawmakers as well. We've written the letters, we've talked to the governor's people, we're sitting with the administrators. I do believe that they are working to meet us. My problem right now is that it's not being done quick enough, okay? We've had meetings, we've had discussions, we've written letters. It is time to get it done. Time is of the essence. My sister Kika said it. Our workers, undocumented, immigrants, everyone that is on the front line and essential workers in this state have not missed one beat when it comes to showing up every single day. We don't get to call you essential and treat you like you sacrificial. I am out here today to say that I stand in support and strong solidarity with you all. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You pay taxes, yep. You should be able to reap the benefits of that. And during a pandemic such as this one, like no one I've ever seen in my lifetime, I believe that we have to take care of everyone. Everyone counts. Every worker matters, regardless of status. You matter. You show up, you sacrifice. We have members that have lost their lives. We have members that are family members that have lost their lives, not because they are healthcare workers or rest stop workers or custodians, none of that, security guards. It's because their family member does the work. And they go home not knowing whether they're COVID positive or not. And then they find out that they're COVID positive and they have to self-isolate. And that looks totally different in our communities, let's be real. In black and brown communities, we don't have the space to self-isolate without having to worry about being a contagion in our home. And going to work for an honest day's pay should not be a death sentence. And I believe that it is the state of Connecticut's responsibility to take care of every single worker. And that includes our immigrants and our undocumented workers. You all are doing the work. You all are doing the work that not many people pride themselves in doing. But you know what? You do. And you know why? Because it is a labor of love. You care. And we should care just as much about you as you do about this country that you call home and the work that you bring to us. We have been able to stay open. This state has been able to operate because of workers like you. Because of you and your family members and your friends that have kept us moving, kept us up and operating. And now that we're slowly starting to gradually reopen, we can't forget where you've been and what you've done when we all had the privilege of staying home. When the governor gave the order, the mandate, stay safe, stay home, that didn't include essential workers and first responders. You all still had to go out and go to work. And I don't think that the sacrifice should be your life. I don't think that the sacrifice should be the life of your family member or even the illness itself. So I'm here to say that I stand with you 150%. We need your help, Governor Lamont. We need for you to do this now, Governor Lamont. Now. Time is of the essence. Because as we wait for a response, people are literally dying. We cannot afford to wait any longer. This should have happened. It is past due. And all we're asking is that the right thing be done by the people that have not let us down. You have not failed us, and I do not want to see us fail you. So I thank each and every one of you for coming out here today. I thank you for the work that you do. I thank you for the sacrifices that you make. And I want you to know that you all not only are in my prayers, but you are in my actions. You are in the demands that I make. I have not forgotten you, and I will never forget you, because at the end of the day, you matter. And I want you to remember that no matter what. We will continue to push. We continue to fight the good fight. We will continue to make the demands that you deserve. There needs to be some respect and some dignity when we deal with people. And that is why I'm here today, to stand with you and all of your family members and all of the people that get out and go to work to do this work. We fought hard for minimum wage. People didn't think that you deserved a $15 an hour job. And that's the very ones that we discounted, that are the very ones that we are depending on to keep us going, to keep this economy going. Yes, the economy got hit, but guess what? It didn't get hit as hard as it could have gotten if we weren't able to keep our places of business open. And the fact that we have many people out here that are taking care of our elderly, working in nursing homes. We have folks at rest stops, working in the restaurants, McDonald's. Nobody's being done right. And when it comes to private industry, we can't control that. But the one thing that we can control is what the government, this state, does for its workers. And I will stand with you until we get this through. And I'm going to own it. I'm going to claim it. It is happening because I believe in the governor, and I believe that the governor is going to do what's right. I just need him to do it right now. So thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Robin. Let's give it up to Representative Porter. Now we're going to welcome a member of Unidad Latina en Acción. Ahora vamos a darle la bienvenida a Adriana Rodríguez de Unidad Latina en Acción. Bienvenida, Adriana.
Bueno, pues buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Adriana Rodríguez. Llevo 3 años trabajando con Unidad Latina en Acción. Y esta tarde estamos aquí porque estamos exigiendo nuestros derechos. No es justo que el gobernador se olvide de más de 120,000 inmigrantes indocumentados que estamos sacando adelante este país desde hace muchos años. Creo que la mayoría de todos somos trabajadores esenciales, pagamos impuestos, entonces merecemos esta ayuda económica que él está brindando. No es una ayuda que él nos está dando, es algo que nos pertenece porque trabajamos también para este país. No es posible que nosotros, teniendo hijos nacidos aquí, solo por ser padres inmigrantes, nos estén haciendo a un lado. Es una injusticia. Si esta tarde estamos aquí, estamos luchando por algo que es justo y que es algo que nos merecemos. Yo los invito a todos a que sigan estando con nosotros en cada caravana que hagamos, en cada protesta. Este beneficio es para todos, no es para mí, no es para las familias de ULA, es para todas las familias indocumentadas inmigrantes que vivimos en este país. Tenemos muchas personas con esta crisis, viviendo esta crisis, esta pandemia. No solamente estamos mal económicamente, sino que también estamos mal emocionalmente. Tenemos mucho estrés, depresión en las familias. Entonces, no solamente una ayuda económica nos va a salvar de esta crisis. No sabemos cuánto tiempo va a durar. Así que vamos a resistir, a seguir luchando, a hacer presencia. No queremos una moratoria de 3 meses de renta, sino queremos una cancelación de renta de 3 meses. Así que, ¿qué queremos ahora? Cancelación de renta por 3 meses. Un fondo financiero para nosotros los inmigrantes, que creo que nos lo merecemos, por el trabajo duro que hacemos nosotros. Nosotros limpiamos sus casas, limpiamos sus oficinas, hacemos el trabajo duro que muchas personas no quieren hacer. No es justo que en estos momentos se nos haga a un lado. Así que hagamos valer nuestros derechos, hagamos valer nuestra voz. Y estamos aquí, señor gobernador, y no nos vamos a ir. Gracias.
Thank you, Adriana. Muchas gracias, Adriana. Our next speaker is a longtime champion of Latino issues, social justice issues, immigrant rights issues. El próximo orador es un campeón de los derechos de inmigrantes y justicia. He's also a member of the Black and Puerto Rican Caucus. Él es miembro del caucus puertorriqueño y afroamericano. He represents the 6th District of Hartford. Vamos a darle la bienvenida al representante Edwin Vargas.
John.
Gracias, Kika.
Adriana tiene que hablar otra vez y tienes que
María,
hacer la
es un gran
traducción.
dullón.
Nadie le tradujo.
First
Yo
of
estoy
all, let me
grabando para
thank
Facebook.
Yo puedo hacer
the
la
great city of New Haven. I know it's here. Is New Haven here? You know, I represent the city of Hartford, but I know that a lot of the immigrant issues come out of New Haven because that's a strong fighting community, as is our chairwoman of the Labor Committee, who you heard from, Robin Porter. I serve on her committee. She's a fighter. Y está aquí por nosotros. When I see people like former councilman from Hartford, Larry Deutsch, councilman from Meriden, my good friend Miguel Castro, and I see the labor organizers here, I know we're in a strong position. I see my friends, Gabriel from 32BJ, I see my friends from 1199, and you know what, I'm glad that these are the unions that fight for the little guy. Yeah. We have a lot of unions that collect dues, and maybe they fight, maybe they don't fight, but I know that these unions fight for their members every day, for the people on the front line. BJ! Well,
in our church, pero, we're giving some of our money from my family and from our church emergency fund to the Connecticut Undocumented Fund, but this is not enough. We can do this and we need to do this. And gobernador, porque no estás implementando su propia fe de escuchar y respetar. No es mucho que pedimos, es solo lo que hay que hacer, que es dar. No es tanto dinero, 150 millones de dólares. No es tanto dinero. Tenemos que hacerlo ayer. We're not asking that much. $150 million, it's a lot, but it's also not that much. And we need it done yesterday. Gracias.
Ending with Palestine, as Israeli police break up a prayer session outside a closed al-Aqsa mosque, as reported by Middle East Eye. That's our program for today. Stay safe, but stay active. I'm Stanley Heller for The Struggle.